Hello everyone, welcome to short summary lectures. My name is Arvind and today our main topic is planning, controlling and leading a project. Under the main topic, we have the subtopics here, principles of project management in business. And today we will be covering what is a project and a project management, characteristics of a project triangle, the project life cycle, the project management process, project tools and techniques. Before we get into the main subject matter, I'm sure most of you would have worked in a project in school, the university, or maybe even at your workplace. The experience that you have gathered with that, let's get into the main subject matter. Most business organizations undertake projects in some form. Successful completion of a project can lead to a value addition or it bring about a change in the business organization. So which means when we are undertaking project, we need to ensure there is some sort of a value addition is there. So how do you define a project? A project is a unique undertaking to achieve a specific objective. Examples could be implementation of an ERP system, or maybe for example, we are 2022, that is next year, where FIFA World Cup is going to take place in Qatar, where the city would be getting ready with the infrastructure and stadium. The project can be of a short term or long term, depending on the business requirements. So how do you define a project management? Well, management of a team in terms of achieving a specific objective is what is referred to as a project management. It is the project manager who is responsible in terms of completing the project and handing over the project. There are certain characteristics that the project will carry, and let's look at it in the next slide. A project has a few key attributes which differentiate it from business as usual. A project is a unique undertaking to achieve a specific objective. When it comes to business, business will have multiple objectives. For example, revenue maximization or say increasing the market share. But when it comes to a project, it has a specific objective. A project will have a definite time period. For example, if we are starting in today, that is 1st August 2021, in about 3 years' time, we are going to complete the project. Whereas business, it continues to do so. Project will have resources. For example, human capital as well as finances. Project will also have stakeholders who are very much interested about the outcome of the project. And also, project is subject to certain uncertainties and risk. Project triangle. When we are undertaking a project, we need to ensure there are three main constraints. One is the time, quality, and cost. A project will be deemed successful if it is completed at the specified level of the quality, on time, and within the budget. So when we refer to time, we need to ensure that the project is being delivered on the agreed date. Quality, where the output of the project is somewhat matches the project specification. Cost, it has to be well within the budget. There's something that I would like to explain in addition where time and cost are correlated. More the time, more the cost. But there are certain instances where the organization will take up initiative to complete the task as soon as possible. By the time it will deploy additional resources, maybe at an additional cost. Apart from this, there are several other constraints which will affect the delivery of the project, such as, for example, the legal factors, technological factors, political factors, environmental factors, and so on. The next schedule is about project life cycle. Similar to a product life cycle, the project will also go through certain phases. Each project has a life period, and during this period, the project will pass by various phases. These phases are called project life cycle. You can see it in the image where you have a need, solution, you have the implementation and completion, where you have the effort on your left hand side and where you have the project life cycle down the time. So It is at the stage of need where we will be discussing whether we require to undertake a project or not. While that discussion is on, we will also have something called a feasibility study. In a feasibility study, where we will be discussing about the possible benefits and the cost. And if the benefit is more than the cost, then we will be able to go ahead with the project. And that is where we will be having a project team. And from there onwards, we will be drafting the project initiation document, which will have a vision as well as a business case. Just like similar to a project life cycle, we can always relate to something called a project management process, which is somewhat same. I can take you to the next slide. So here we have the initiation process, the planning process, execution process, controlling process, and the closing process. What is important here is that in the planning process, we get into a detail about the project. What are the resources that we need? How are we going to manage time? When we need the finances is somewhat we will be doing it in the planning stage. And once the planning stage is completed, we might have to get into the execution stage where it becomes more critical. We are fighting against the time, and absolute monitoring is somewhat necessary. And once the project is within the control, then we will be able to close the process. One of the main ways companies select the most worthwhile project is by considering the feasibility of the proposed project and the risk and uncertainty relating to the project. In terms of managing the project, there are tools and techniques. There are several tools and techniques that we can use. And under each activities, these tools and techniques become important. So for example, when you have the planning of activities for cost, you can use the work breakdown structure. You have the work package, product breakdown structure, or cost breakdown structure as well. What is a work breakdown structure? A good example I can share with you is the recent conclusion of Olympics, where parallel activities will take place in a given day. Logistical arrangements, facilitators, competitors. We need to ensure that a clear plan is being given to people so that the operation is being running smoothly. So this is about work breakdown structure, where you define the work to be carried out in a manageable pieces. You will also have something called the work package or statement of work to specify the work to be done for each activity and who will carry it out. Product breakdown structure, on the other hand, will have the product purchases required for each activity. The cost breakdown structure will identify and give us where capital or revenue expenditure in nature. For planning for quality, we have the PQP, project quality plan, which will specify the standards required within the project. And in terms of planning for the time, which is more crucial, where we will be looking at it in terms of network analysis, Gantt charts, PERT, scenario planning, milestones. PERT is where performance evaluation and review technique. Scenario planning is where we will be analyzing the project under several scenarios to see what would be the best solution when it comes to the risk and uncertainty. So these are the ways in which we will be able to manage the project. As a summary, where a project will have objective, which has a start and end date. It is unique, and we will also require resources. Project will also go through certain stages. That is where in the project life cycle, initiating, planning, execution, controlling, and closing are there. And the three main constraints of a project is time, cost, and quality. Thank you.